Mission Impossible Final Reckoning comes out fairly soon, and I'm here talking about my top 8 favorite villains from the Mission Impossible franchise so far. So let's jump into it. At my number 8 is Kurt Hendricks. Kurt Hendricks is an interesting villain, and I've always found that Mission Impossible has some of the weaker villains in some of the earlier franchise, but at least by Kurt Hendricks, it starts to get a little bit more interesting. But I will say at my number 7, Jim Phelps is probably one of the more iconic villains in the Mission Impossible franchise, even if he comes from the first one, specifically in the way that it deals with betrayal on a team. Number 6, we have Paris, Pom Clementief's character, who I absolutely loved. Very excited to see what they do with her in Final Reckoning. I don't know if she'll still be a villain per se, but wow. She really embodied this crazy, maniacal energy that I was such a massive fan of. Number 5, this one's a little bit weird, but it's the Entity, the AI from Dead Reckoning. I thought that was such an interesting and unique idea. I know some people think it was a little bit too melodramatic or a little bit too cheesy, but there's something about the entity itself, the AI, and that is what's really working everything behind the scenes that is very scary. And the fact that Ethan Hunt's having to go up against it is even more insane. At number 4, we have Gabriel, who's very much the front focus of this. The AI is telling him what to do, and Gabriel is just played off in a fantastic manner. To my number 3, which is Solomon Lane. I think more people will have this probably a little bit higher. I've always found Solomon Lane to not be in the franchises enough. I feel like if he used just a little bit, had a couple more scenes, would probably be a little bit higher on here. But his performance in here is fantastic, and I think what they do with him in Fallout is just great. And we get to my number 2, which is Henry Cavill's August Walker. August Walker should have been a staple of the Mission Impossible franchise. He should have continued to be in the Mission Impossible franchise. I understand his fate in Fallout, but Cavill, I mean, come on. He does the And number 1, the best villain in the Mission Impossible franchise, and this mostly probably comes down to the performance given, is, of course, Owen Daven, who is Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, an amazing actor and everything that he's ever accomplished in here. But for me, what he was able to do in Mission Impossible 3 devotes so much of that time, and for me, is the reason that I like Mission Impossible 3 so much, is because of his performance.
Plus, look at this IMF hat I got.